it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making a shaker card that has a really interesting cutout on the front of it, and it's a graduation card, so it's going to have some unique aspects. I hope you'll stay tuned and watch. So we're going to start with this color, blue paper. I think that's North Carolina University's color. It's University of North Carolina blue. I think that's what they call it. I might be off, but if I am, I tried. And then I'm going to use this cool die that's going to cut the centerpiece out of it, but I want to get my stamping right first because I'm going to use this set that's from Hero Arts called Congrats. Hard to believe. I think I'm going to put it in my Stamp Perfect because I have some grids that I set up in here that might help me to get this properly positioned. Is what we're going to do. Oh, and by the way, this is 8.5 by 5.5 tall, and then I scored it at 4 1/4 and 4.5, and then I had to trim the paper a little bit to make it so it was straight. That's because I'm going to make it into a thicker card, and I want it to not look weird when I did that. So I'm gonna, oh look, my batteries are attached to this. That's not good. So what I'm going to do first, I think, my battery, that's got everything moved. I think what I'm going to do first is make sure it's lined up properly. I don't know if that's going to hurt it. I might have to move it and do it the other way because I'm not sure if if those two scores will mess up my stamping. Okay, so I'm going to put my die right there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. I'm putting the cutout right there. It's on the top, and then we'll do our stamping first so that we know exactly where that needs to be. And I think I'm going to use just a VersaFine Onyx Black. Maybe I'll just use Simon Says Stamp Black, Intense Black instead, because this is when you need the little ink pads, when you have this teeny tiny sentiment. Before I stamp that on my paper and ruin it, I'm going to stamp it on a piece of spare cardstock. That way, when I do it, you know it's right. You know if your inking is in the right, if your words are lined up properly. So we're going to stamp these up and get this going. All right. We're going with that. Maybe I'll stamp it one more time and use my clear embossing powder on it. Heat this bad boy up. While I'm heating that, I'll get these out and put them away. There you go. That's right. Next step, we're going to cut that piece out. So let me do that and I'll come right back. So the first thing we need to do is we need to glue our piece of acetate in. You want to make sure it's really clean because you don't want anybody to see the yucky part of it. That's what I call it. That's my technical term is yucky. You don't want the yucky to show. So I'm going to put some glue dots just around the outer edge so that you won't be able to see it. Hopefully that one's far enough away that no one will see it. And I don't really care about what the back looks like because no one's going to see the back because we're going to put another piece of paper in there. Alright, so our next step is we need to put glue in the inside, and I have all of these nurse related things. I was going to put nurse somewhere. Of course, you know, I could put it there maybe. And then I thought about putting something on the inside, but I'm afraid that my little things will stick to it. We have to think this through, you know. Okay, so the first thing we'll do before we mess up anything else is I need to put fun foam all around this to make sure that we don't have any of our shaker things come out. We're going to do the very bottom edge like that. And then we're going to go all the way to the edge. We're going to do the top edge the same way. If you've never done a shaker card, let me tell you some hints about a shaker card. You don't need a lot of shaky things in your shaker card, and I'll tell you why. Because the more you have in there, the less shaking they'll do. So you want to have a minimal amount of shaky things. The very first one I made had, I'd say, 35 pounds of shaky stuff in there, and it just looked horrible. And not only did it look horrible, there was no way to keep all of the shaker components inside there. So shaky things kept coming out and coming out. I had beads everywhere. I'm cutting this in pieces so that hopefully we can make it so that it doesn't have any shaky things come out. And like I said, I learned my lesson about the amount of shaky things that you put inside these. So now our next step, I want to make sure nothing's in this center section so that you see that little blob when you're looking at the inside of our card. And then I have to decide what I want to put in there. Okay, then I have these little, they're called Mermaid shakers. I like the colors of them. My little ER bag right there. Okay, well there's my shaker part. I don't think it looks bad. It shakes a little bit. I mean, there's some shaking going on in there. So now I'm going to put some of my nurse things on the inside of my card. I'm going to just put nurse right there. And then on the other side, I liked this set because it had this set of scrubs that were more masculine, and I was really impressed by that because none of the other ones I found were masculine. They were all very, very feminine, and today nursing profession is really as many men as it is women, I think. So here's our card. I gotta put the stamp on the back. And then as for my envelope, since I'm just gonna hand it to him, I think what I'm gonna do is, if I ever get that stethoscope off, I'm just gonna put the stethoscope on the front. I'll just put it right there like that. So that was my shaker card. I hope you enjoyed it, that you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.